Hi everyone, Tarun here. So in this video, I'll be talking about how you can produce a very good assignment when you're given a business problem to solve. How can you come up with a very good assignment when you're given a business problem to solve is what today's video is about. Now, if you're applying for the role of a business analyst or a product manager or some kind of UX researcher and so on. So sometimes what we do is we give you a situation and we ask you to come up with a solution as per the situation. Now, the reason why I think a lot of companies like giving you a situation and asking you to come up with a solution is we'd like to see how serious you are about the role. Because every employer today understands that a candidate is applying to so many different companies and the candidate is not very serious about the company. Because see, there's one thing which is clear. A candidate who's very serious, a candidate who has a very clear reason as to why I want to be a part of this company, why I want to be a part of this role, is more likely to succeed than a candidate with a better skill set. Because you may have skills, but do you have the intent to use those skills to deliver value to your employer? So the most interested candidate who can implement themselves might be an excellent acquisition for the team, right? So this is why we give these problems. For example, in this business analyst selection process, we're hiring a business analyst who would look at the search engine marketing campaigns and think of how those campaigns can be made better, and who can lay out an infrastructure or a framework around which future digital marketers can start operating. Now, this is a very cool project where this is not something which a typical fresher would work on. This is what a young strategist would probably want to be working on, and the person who's hired for this role would directly be reporting to the growth lead of the particular organization where we're doing this project. So naturally, we're looking for someone with a lot of interest and with seriousness and with the ability to explore. So let me explain this with the help of an analogy, right? Let's say I'm hiring a chef. And I ask that person, how do you make a dosa? And applicant one says, take the batter, put some oil on the pan, put the batter there, and you're done. That's applicant one. Applicant two says that, hey, I believe that a lot of your, customers seem to be from Telangana, not as much from Karnataka or Tamil Nadu. And I believe that your customers have a preference for more spicy stuff and especially a little more chili. So I've done my research and these are the, spices which are consumed in that particular region. So what I'm going, and I also believe that this kind of a pan actually gets you the best kind of experience for the dosa. And I would prefer using this Bosch, this particular mixer, because that mixer's grinding of the lentils comes close to the natural grinding, which is the tradition of this region of, the grandmother's dosa is very similar to the dosa which comes out of this machine. I'd use this thing, I'd crush the lentils, get the batter, and then take this particular pan, which is optimized for your dosa of this region. And maybe I believe that your users may prefer butter over an oil. I'll put some butter on the non-stick pan, then pour this dosa, and maybe I try a little bit of paneer because paneer seems to be popular here. Apply these spices to tilt the dosa around, and I'm going to spread the batter thin. I think paper dosas are popular here, so I'll spread that batter thin so that the dosa is very, very crisp, and even the butter will sort of help the dosa in getting crisp. Now, we see the difference between applicant 1 and applicant 2, right? The applicant 2A has done a lot of homework about the organization, about the consumer behavior, and has come up with a plan which adds value. So as a recruiter, you're like, wait, I want to hire this guy and make this guy serve the next customer in my hotel. Because this individual is very enthusiastic about the job and this individual is going to make the business go to the next level. So if you are a candidate who is thinking about the business, who's doing a lot of homework and coming up with specific pointers, not abstract things like, hey, I'll pour the batter and I'm done. Or let's say you're asked, there's a bakery and that bakery is asking you to come up with a digital marketing plan. Person A might say, okay, put one post on social media every day and run good ads. When you run good ads and we increase the website traffic, we'll be able to take the business to the next level. Applicant 1. Applicant 2, I've studied your cakes. I realize your cakes are fluffy and the sweetness of your cakes is not too high, not too low. The people who prefer these moderate level sweetness and the people who like the fluffy cakes are likely to be your customers. This is the user persona I've sort of seen. And of all the channels, I believe that perhaps Instagram is Instagram and Facebook are the channels where you could be popular. And on Facebook, I've already identified some foodie groups where people seem to be discussing food. I've also seen some Quora questions around cakes and what kind of cakes people prefer. And I've also seen some questions where corporate HRs are discussing how to make parties memorable for their employees. So maybe we can write some articles about how a fluffy cake adds to a great experience for your employees and why the occasions are a lot more than just a cake, and why we are the bakery which understands the occasions and celebrates the occasions like Barbecue Nation. If we can come up with articles describing celebration, how to celebrate and so on, and make our users understand that our brand is not about cakes, our brand is about celebration. This would be our marketing slogan, and we'd come up with stories, we'd come up with Instagram reels, and through this both our organic content and inorganic content is all about celebration, and will drive traffic, and we'll also get them to experience the flavor and fragrance of our brand by experiencing celebration. And we'll also train our sales team to carry this idea. We'll come up with a brand dictionary of what words they would use, because fluffy and a lot of synonyms of fluffy can be used. And again, it's important for us to put content of why overly sweet cakes can be a problem and why a little bit of sweet is good. So if you come up with this plan, think of applicant 1 and applicant 2, right? Applicant 2 has done homework. Applicant 2 has gone into details of what you can do for this particular brand, right? So this is why I think doing an assignment where you come up with the specifics can be exciting for the organization. Now you might ask, if I apply to so many organizations and I come up with so many proposals like this, and at the end of it, they don't value me, isn't it a waste of my time? Well, you ask me as a CEO of Deep Thought, a lot of clients come to me. A lot of clients want to explore with me. I write proposals for them. So I write detailed 2-page, 3-page proposals of how we could hire people for them, how we could train people for them, how we could get passionate people, and how passionate people will make a difference to them. So now when I make proposals, a lot of these proposals are not accepted. But what I've seen is every time I write a proposal, I actually fine tune the way I think. So next time when I go into a meeting, when someone calls me for a discovery call, right, where they want to explore an opportunity to do a project with me, I have a lot of ideas to share. So compared to my peers, somebody who's pitching for the same project, I have more ideas because I've written more proposals, I've explored more problems. So you may get the job, you may not get the job, but if you write very good proposals, over a period of time, I think the quality of thinking that you develop goes up, and more often than not, a smart employer would recognize you. And that's why Deep Thought stands here, right? Companies hire through us. That is, we hire the candidates, we put them on our payrolls and deploy them on projects in many cases, because many of our clients see that Deep Thought has got an eye for great talent. So you can be assured that here, if you've got a great proposal, we might be keen on hiring you. But I would say, don't be result centric, be more process centric. If you're writing great proposals and learning from them, eventually you could be a highly sought after consultant in the industry, where you're not working for one employer, but maybe you're helping multiple organizations and doing what they're going to be doing, right? So I think it's super important to put your mind, body, heart, and soul into the proposal, and show who you are, because a great artist has the signature on the painting. A great artist has a signature on the painting. So somebody who's just doing it for a job has a proposal with no life in it. Somebody who's doing it just for the job has a proposal with no life in it. But somebody who's like an amazing consultant who loves to solve problems, for whom work is a part of the identity, right? Where my work shows me I'm an artist, my signature is on every proposal I write. If that is your attitude, I'm sure I can feel it in your presentation. Now, by this, I don't mean that your presentation has to be very, use a lot of colors, make it fancy and so on. You can make it decent, right? It can look very presentable. The idea is not to make it colorful, but the idea is to bring that strategy, right? The idea is to do that research, bring that data. So whatever points you're making, can you research out some stories on the internet and evidence who else has done this, how it has worked for them, or what are different thought leaders doing? Get onto LinkedIn, follow some thought leaders, read, off late, lot of thought leaders in LinkedIn share views of how things are to be done. Now you're applying as a business analyst and you realize your project has a huge search engine marketing thing associated with them. You understand that your project has a search engine marketing thing associated with it. So are you reading about search engine marketing? Are you reading what thought leaders are talking about search engine marketing? How much of homework have you actually done about this role? All of this we can see when we read your presentation, right? So I think it's an amazing experience to write great presentations. Till today, even if you have not done it, when you start doing it, from mediocrity, you go towards excellence, right? From mediocrity, you go towards excellence. From doing something just for the sake of a job, you do something for passion, you do something out of purpose, and you're never going to look back. Trust me, when you do this, you're never going to look back, and your career is only going to go to the next level. So if you do something, I mean, in my next video, I'm going to talk about Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So do ping me if you want the link to that video. If you watch that video, you'll understand that if you go for level 5, level 6 needs, right now when you're insecure about your job, you're going for a level 2 need. People who operate in level 1 to level 4 are operating at a very low level. But in innovation companies, in high value projects, we look for people who are going after level 5, level 6 needs. So are you that person who's super awesome? Are you that person who will grow very fast if given a little mentoring, right? Then we would love to hire you. Why not, right? I mean, if we hire you and train you a bit, I'm sure you can add a lot of value to our projects, and that's when you're going to give us that 10x return, right? As opposed to hiring an experienced person, paying a huge amount of salary, we hire a beginner who's got the learning curve and invest a little bit on mentoring. You can give us a 10x result. That's the secret to growth, right? How do you give a 10x return to your employer? So I look forward to reading your assignment, and I hope you enjoy this process of coming up with an assignment. Wishing you guys all the best.